Hey guys, John here from Bring the SEO. Today I wanted to share a few thoughts with you around a concept that I learnt from a mentor many years ago. And in fact, I saw this same concept shared recently on social media, and it reminded me of the importance of this and how it can certainly apply to building a successful SEO agency. Now, as you can see on screen, I've got 4 quadrants mapped out: marketing, fulfillment, sales, and finance. And I know after having made the same mistakes myself, working in the SEO industry, as well as coaching many students and providing training in this space, that one of the greatest challenges facing most SEO consultants is getting clients. And I think the reason for that is because they make the mistake of neglecting these other 3 quadrants and investing all of their time, money, and effort into fulfillment. And I know this to be true because not only did I make the same mistakes, but you've only got to take a look at the conversations that are going on in the SEO space, whether that be in forums, YouTube, social media, Facebook, and so forth. The majority of the conversations being had by SEO consultants is related to technical SEO. How do I implement schema? What's the best plugin? How can I improve, my on-page? How do I structure the site? Silos, pillow links, tiered linking, all of this technical nonsense that you see around all over the place. And yet what's interesting to me is that the majority of these SEO consultants, certainly not all, but a large majority, possess great technical knowledge, but they're not making any money. And the reason for that is, there's probably numerous reasons, but the biggest reason is the fact that they don't have any sense of marketing and sales, especially marketing. That's the biggest one. And this is why getting clients is the greatest challenge for most SEO consultants. In fact, it's the biggest pain point by far. And that's a question that's often is probably equally on par with, a lot of the technical questions. They're asking technical questions, but at the same time, they're asking, how can I get clients? And I think the reason for this is simply because, like I said, they're neglecting these other 3 quadrants. Now, as I said at the beginning of this video, this was a concept that was shared with me many years ago, probably 10 or 11 years ago, with a mentor that I was working with. And he presented this on screen, and for whatever reason, I just didn't understand the importance of this. I figured it was just another fancy diagram, and well, who cares? And because I didn't understand the importance of this, and because I didn't apply that information, it cost me a tremendous amount of wasted time and money. Simply, again, because I spent all of my time in the fulfillment quadrant. Now, as an SEO consultant, that's all well and good if you want to be the world's greatest SEO, but if you want to build a successful SEO agency, you need to have a very good understanding, especially around the importance of marketing, sales, and finance. So for the majority of SEO consultants, at least the ones that I've worked with, and I've worked with hundreds, the majority of them, not only do they not have any marketing in place, but that's coupled with the fact that they don't know, they're not operating in a niche. They don't know who the target audience is. They don't know what an ideal customer or client looks like. They can't answer any of these questions. And I think this is where a lot of SEO consultants become quite discouraged, because there's certainly a percentage of SEO consultants who make the effort around, hey, I tried paid ads, or I tried, fridge magnets, or I tried sending out lumpy mail, or I tried sending letters in the mail, or I tried, going to a business networking event, and none of that stuff works. Well, the reason it's not working is because you don't know who an ideal client is. And you could let's face it, it's pointless doing any form of marketing if you don't know who you're targeting. So those 2 problems coupled together make marketing incredibly challenging and quite painful, because marketing, it can be real easy to blow a stack of cash if you don't have it right. So it's incredibly important that you understand and you can answer the questions. Who do I serve? What do I do? What's my offer? And what problem am I solving? Until you answer those questions, and you shouldn't be spending any time, certainly not spending any money when it comes to marketing. So you need to be able to address those questions and be able to answer those questions very clearly and understand exactly and know who it is that you're actually targeting. Once you know who you're targeting, well, then it's easy. I always wonder, like, when SEO clients say to me, like, I can't get clients, and I ask them, well, who are you actually trying to find? And they say, well, I don't know anyone that wants SEO. It's kind of ironic, isn't it? How do you expect to find something when you don't know what it is? But marketing, once you do know who once you've got your niche, your target audience, you know what an ideal client looks like, and your offer, and all of that stuff coupled together, well, then marketing becomes tremendous. Well, I wouldn't say tremendously easy, but it certainly becomes a lot easier because you can focus in your efforts on a specific audience. But marketing, aside from being able to answer those questions, marketing is where it really matters. And for a lot of SEO consultants, because we're mostly technically minded, marketing is just this weird, obscure, mysterious thing that is quite intimidating. But this is part of the quadrant that probably should hold more weight than any other section, because if you don't have leads coming in and you're just going by word of mouth and random inquiries, then it's just not going to work. You have to have some form of marketing in place. Now, that's not to say that you need to become, a Facebook ads guru or anything like that. You could certainly hire someone to help. In fact, you should be applying that same mindset and approach in all quadrants, right? You shouldn't be sitting there buried in fulfillment. You shouldn't be trying to do your own finances. And, for some of us, we enjoy doing sales, but if you don't, well, then hire someone to do the sales for you. But marketing is tremendously important. Now, the follow-on from that, of course, is sales. You're not going to do much in terms of sales if you don't have leads coming in. And I think for most SEO consultants, when it comes to sales, they don't have a sales process in place. And if by any chance the phone does ring, they pick up the phone, they shit themselves, they pick up the phone and then just talk in circles for an hour and a half, trying to convince the person or explain what it is that they do and how much they charge, and essentially try to twist the person's arm and to have them hand over their credit card details. And it becomes really awkward and uncomfortable. Now, in the SEO Accelerator program, I do cover sales in depth. And sales, of course, is a follow-on, as I said, from marketing. And with a solid sales process in place, you can, of course, go about making the most of your marketing costs and expensive, and, of course, onboarding more clients and becoming more profitable, all of those good things. But marketing and sales is tremendously important. And I'll come back to what sort of percentages and how it would weight each of these quadrants in just a moment. Now, lastly, the finance quadrant. Now, it amazes me how many SEO consultants that I've had discussions with don't know their numbers. Okay, how many hours are you working on this campaign? What are you charging? What's your profit margin? What are your expenses? Like, what are your operational expenses? What sort of fees and everything else? Essentially the question comes down to, do you know your numbers? And most of them don't, especially freelancers. They're the worst because they've just got subscriptions flying in all directions. They're, undercharging, over-servicing, and it's just a mess. I spoke with an SEO consultant years ago, and he said, I'm working on this campaign every day. He was charging $800 a month, and we crunched the numbers, and I said, you're working for $8 an hour, but it's actually costing you like $30 or $40 an hour to run this business. It's madness. Now, I'm not going to be giving financial advice, but certainly there should be no reason why you can't get yourself an accountant or a bookkeeper to help you work out the numbers. And this is, it goes without saying, if you don't know your numbers, then what sort of business are you running? Some of these questions you won't know until you implement some form of marketing. How much does it cost me to get a customer? How much, what's the lifetime value of a customer? How long are they staying? All of these questions need to be answered. So you can see how many of these quadrants are all tied in together. And in many ways, and I've said this to a lot of my coaching clients, the people that are involved in my program, I've said the easy part is fulfillment. And yet this is seemingly where most SEO consultants not only spend most of their time, but most of their time is spent in there stressing out. Well, fulfillment is the easy part. It's this other stuff here, especially marketing, that can be quite challenging. So yeah, I wanted to share this with you, this concept of these 4 quadrants with you, because all 4 quadrants are incredibly important if you intend on building a profitable SEO agency. Because, like I said, the majority of SEO consultants spend all of their time here, and if you're neglecting these other quadrants, then it's just not going to work. Now, in terms of weighting percentages, and these numbers might be off somewhat, but I'd probably put marketing in around 60 to 70%, at least 60% of your investment should be made in terms of marketing, and maybe another 30% or 20% at least in sales. Once you've got leads coming in, then the sales should be self-accommodating, and as long as you've got a sales process in place, then you can make the most of your marketing spend and onboard clients easily. But if you're running around the internet with your hair on fire trying to get clients, well, then that's a complete waste of time. And every single sale has to count, and it's going to be high pressure and stressful and frustrating, and you're going to feel bummed out when you don't close a deal because you don't know when the next one's coming in. And that's why marketing is so important. But I would put marketing at a minimum of 60%, sales at 20%. That brings us to 80%, and then the other 10% probably spread across fulfillment and finance. Like I said, and this might confuse a lot of you watching this video, fulfillment is the easy part. It's this other stuff here that's most challenging. But start thinking about your SEO business like this, rather than just worrying about title tags and schema markups and keyword density and rankings and keywords and all of that other nonsense. There's much more to it. Hey, if you've enjoyed this video and you'd like to learn more, head over to bringtheseo.com. We provide business development training for SEO consultants wanting to improve their processes, increase profits, and scale to $100,000 a month or more without all the stress and overwhelm.